Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions Season 2! Yeah, we're still on Season 2, but we're. Okay, so Let's get straight to the tea. It has been, like, as of recording this, it has been 2 weeks since the journalism seminar happened, and I am gonna get some things out in this podcast before my vlog, before I edit my vlog and before it gets uploaded. So, yeah, I will tell you all the behind the scenes of the journalism seminar from my perspective. I don't care about it. I don't care about the others, but I'm gonna tell you my story and how it went for me. Um, and I am going to issue a disclaimer here. First of all, um, I was not as personally invested this time as compared to like the previous seminars na where I was an attendee. I'm sorry, I'm trying to speak in Filipino, but like yeah, I was I was not as personally invested in this particular edition as compared to the previous years because I wasn't as involved. Or like I mean here's the thing. We had the shortest prep time ever. Like in the entire history of the journalism seminar. We only started like official planning March. Like mid-March. The seminar was May, late May. So just imagine how awfully short and just how much crunch we have to do. But I kind of don't want to involve myself in the success of this whole thing because I just feel like I don't deserve the credit. Okay, like, but we'll talk about why I don't deserve the credit later. So, I just was not as invested as compared to the previous years. And I think that also contributed to me just being as awful as I am on that seminar itself. So I was part of the audience engagement committee, which, well, um, pretty much stuff we have to do was just like around the seminar. So we our task was mostly on the seminar itself, like the day itself. So uh we just had like a few stuff to do, games and um prizes and everything, blah blah blah. So we pretty much did that, and we were basically like chilling out, you know. It was our committee was just pretty chill, I'm not gonna lie. And there was a time when I just had to like deactivate because it was just so overwhelming for me that I just don't want to be bothered by stuff, you know. So I deactivated for like a few days and then went back. And I realized there was just so much going on, and I just felt like I could not deactivate and like especially in my position as like the class representative of the section, and you know like the stuff that would happen on the planning stage, and then yeah, I mean I wasn't really like paying attention to, the chatter and the chaos, because I honestly did not care. But like, there was a time where I did not get to tell this story last Thursday as of recording this, but I did not get to tell the story. I have alluded to this in the season finale, but um I will tell you the full context of this entire thing with one particular conversation. And I remember it happening on a Friday, if I remember correctly. And there was doubt casting over the entire batch about this seminar, and like how awfully short the prep time is. So we had to, like, our overall coordinator, who was my former production director in my old radio station. If you remember, I left. So our production director there was our overall coordinator for this edition. So he was asking us, the entire batch, about about our insights regarding this. And so I told them, the entire batch, that I have had doubts. I actually was really concerned that we might not pull this off and, like, make it not feel half-heartedly done. Like 50% done, you know that stuff. So what I had to do was just give them the honest opinion. I just had a lot of doubts, and I am very pessimistic, call me. I mean, I just knew they would be able to pull that off, but my concern was just how awfully short of a prep time, and that we might not be able to have a proper seminar with that short in time. Like, how are we supposed to get speakers? How are we supposed to get sponsors? How are we supposed to attract participants to, join us in this annual event, annually highly anticipated event? Because this subject is generating a lot of hype every single year, and I know from experience that it is crazy. Like, and especially when you get the speakers, when they release the full lineup of speakers, it gets everybody's pants, like, practically shat. Everybody's shitting on their pants. That's how crazy this is, and especially for, like, journalists and fangirls like myself, because I am a huge journalist and fangirl, both in this country and in other countries. I am a big fan of news, so, like, I will get hyped if there is anyone that I know that is actually joining us for the seminar. So this time, given the theme of community press, that was the general theme of this entire seminar. I did not know what to feel. I am not gonna lie. I did not know what to feel, given that I used to work for a community press outfit as an intern. So sure, we're talking about that again, but I don't know, like, it just feels off for me, and I am concerned, like, with this topic. How are we supposed to get speakers? Imagine you have a short prep time, and you have such a niche topic, How are you supposed to get speakers for that particular event, for that particular edition, right? That was my concern. And when you think about it, it's valid, even if I did put it brashly, right? But, I mean, people know me for being brash. I don't, like, I mean, I've said this time and again in my podcast, I've said this time and again in here, that I don't like to filter stuff. What you, whatever that comes out of my mouth, I mean it, okay? Whatever comes out of this mouth, I meant every single word of it. So I was just really like concerned. Number one, about the short prep time and how are we supposed to prep for a seminar like that with such a short prep time. Like the best course of action was to delay the entire seminar to like a few days, a few weeks, just to make the quality of the seminar a little better. Because I mean, this seminar is like the finals of the entire batch. It's not just the overall coordinator. It is the entire final project of this batch. So, like, just think about it. There are a lot of grades that are dependent on this entire thing. And me, personally, like, as with all my assignments, I don't like to make things half heartedly. I will delay it just so I could make it a little better. People know that. My professors know that. I don't want to like put out a half-assed output to them. I don't want to put out something that, you know, doesn't scream me. That's the thing. And so I went into this seminar particularly indifferent. Okay. And I mean, a lot of factors have played into that indifference in the seminar, particularly these two factors that I mentioned earlier, the topic and the prep time. So, yeah, now let's skip to like the day of the seminar itself, because pretty much like the in the fir like the days leading up to the seminar was just practice, like how do we do stuff. But for the most part, we just had nothing. Like our committee were basically just chilling out until the day itself. So on the day, um, when I tell you it was crazy, it was really crazy. So here's the thing: the day before, we had like one final rehearsal, and then I went to like the city, uh, what do you call that? Um, like the proper, I don't know what to call it, like some kind of downtown or something. City Plaza, something. Like, I don't know what to call it specifically. So, I went there, and I actually forgot something. I actually forgot I was supposed to do my demo today, but I'm like, oh no, oh god. um, yeah, okay, let's go back. I was supposed to do like a few hours to devote a few hours because I was about to do like a demo job or something. But back to the story. I was at the City Plaza, and I somehow, again, like, I was about to go inside, and like, I have my ID on, and I have like a small bag on, and I was just wearing usual stuff. Um, it was just typical, like, a top, a blouse, some jeans, and rubber shoes. That's pretty much it. And then, like, when I actually got into the plaza, I see there was somebody. There was a camera! And there was a guy waiting for his live shot. And there were like a lot of people huddled over them, and I was like, wait, oh my god. Like, guys, I was just gobsmacked about the fact that there was someone who is, like, they were part of the same network that, if you remember in How Did We Get Here, the episode titled How Did We Get Here, if you remember, I had like a cloud chasing moment back in September where I ended up getting interviewed by a local TV station about the funeral of um one of their most prominent journalists in this country. So, yes, this is my second time ending up on the news, like, officially. And it was a live shot, so it was just absolutely crazy. And it was just so fun. Like, I was there like around 5 p.m. and we see like the monitor. There was a monitor, and there was a small monitor that's like, you know, um that has the live feed, and then I think the other one was a camera, like the reflection of the camera, right? And I was standing on the side. I was just like, oh my god, like, I was just my entire fangirling moment. Like, that was just entirely me fangirling. That's just me, like, actually being obsessed with, like, how the hell did we get here? That was it. And then there was, like, first live shot, it was just one angle. And then the report airs, and then the reporter switches to a different position, and I was directly behind his back. I was behind him, and it was so cramped. I swear to God, it was so cramped that when you see me in the second shot, I was practically like going this. Like, I was peeking. Like, the reporter was like a little taller than I am. A little taller than I am, and he had a pretty medium build. So you can't see me with how thin I am, with how slim I am. So I was just like, hi! Hi! It was so fun. And, by the time they were done, it was still, like, the band was about to start, but, so I decided to find, like, a spot that's, like, you could see the band really good. And, y'all, the band was Ben and Ben, by the way. And I got to a spot where I could actually directly see everyone. Although it was at the side, but I could see everyone. And I could see, like, Andrew Tepano. He was doing the percussion from my point of view. And I could also see Pat Lasaten, the keyboardist, from my view. And I could see, like, everyone else, and I was like, and I I love their songs. I am not gonna lie, like I love their stuff. But they were not one of my influences, but I love their stuff. I love listening to their music. So the fact that I was just there, wow. And then I was like in front of the barricade area too. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I got to see them. Like, it's so crazy. I know. It was just, wow. They were electric live. I swear to God. They were electric. They were absolutely crazy. I I don't know, like it's just really crazy. They performed 8 songs, and I tell you, it was just magical seeing them live. And like these are guys I've heard, like I've listened to for a long time, and I get to see them live. Even for a free concert, but it's still magical to see them live. I'm not gonna lie. And so I went home around 9 p.m. The set started 7. I kind of ate some food first because I was hungry. But I just ate fries and then went straight home. So yeah. So I watched like Law and Order Organized Crime after I got home. Cause I didn't. It's not like I didn't want to sleep. It's just that I don't have much to do until the day of the seminar itself. So I'm just gonna chill out. And my some classmates were actually supposed to sleep over, but they decided to sleep at the dorm of another classmate instead. So I just like whatever. At least I'm alone. At least I could watch Law and Order SVU or Organized Crime rather by myself and just just lose my shit and just fangirl over it. And that I actually did. So, and I was actually joking about it on my Twitter. I said, "Hey, rest." One of my professors said, "Oh, hey, rest up. You're gonna be really hectic tomorrow." And I'm just like, in the nation's largest city, the vicious and violent members of the underworld are hunted by the detectives of the Organized Crime Control Bureau. These are their stories. Dun! And it was just like, I slept at around 1 a.m. and I woke up at like, I don't know, like 3 a.m. and I was like, I was preparing my makeup and I was just, like trying my, like I wore my outfit and I went for a full winter look because that hall was just like practically freezing in there. I swear to God. I like the last time I was there, I was freezing like hell. I swear. So I had to be prepared. I had to bring a coat. I had to bring a coat because it was so cold. And I had to just cover myself up. So I went for the t-shirt, our batch shirt, our organizer shirt, I would say, and then a maxi skirt because it was cold again, and then boots, and then I wore a coat over because again it was cold. So that was my outfit for the day, and I went there around 4:30. I left home 4:30 in the morning because our call time was 5 a.m. So I was there really early and I had to load up my phone because I ran out of data. So I loaded up at a local 7-Eleven and I accidentally loaded up the wrong number in the wrong network. And I had 100 pesos spent there because I usually load up 100 pesos to spend on my data. So It was like I just had a bad day from the start. Just imagine how awful it is. And so I was at this place. So I was already at the hall. Like we were just waiting for doors to open. And everyone else was at at the side of the hall, like waiting to prepare for, you know, the doors to open. And left I left and I went to like this little quaint area where the stores are. And I was waiting for one particular store to open up because they were the only store that had load. Like they were buying, they were selling load. Yeah, that's the word. They were selling load, and I had to wait. And I waited for like 2 hours until I got in because apparently I was being called. And like before I went in, like this was around 6 a.m. A junior of mine. This was honestly one of the most hilarious things in that entire seminar. So I was waiting at that little quaint area, just a few walks away from the hall, and I saw my junior who was there, like who just got there, and we were still preparing everything. And I was like, "Oh my god, you are one crazy bitch." I was just like gobsmacked, like, "Girl, we still haven't prepared yet. What are you doing here?" As you can see, like, we were still outside, okay? We were still outside the damn hall. We aren't able to get in yet. Like, all of the things were there that day. So, just imagine how crazy it is to, be there while the staff is still preparing the seminar. It was just so funny. And I went inside. I'm just like, okay, I'll begin work and blah blah blah. And I was like, hey, you were at that store earlier. Like, yeah, but again, I did not buy anything yet. Because the store was still closed and I needed to load up. Okay, I needed to load up, but the store was still closed. So, yeah, I just went to work with the rest of my committee members, my fellow committee members, like, with the IDs, because we had this, like, very small ID card, where you could, like, have your name. We were gonna place the name tag in there, and we were going to, have this, like, what's the best experience of this journalism seminar for you, things like that. And then, put their names on it, blah blah blah. And yeah, when we finished that, we were asked to, like, tear up the script in half so they could have, our host could read it better. But I'm just thinking, like, why didn't they, like, print it in, like, half instead, right? So you could just cut it off and then, like, put a puncher and then cue cards, just, like, flap it up, like, for example, this tissue. So this is my cue card. You're just, like, flipping. Like, it would be easy, like, if you can flip through every single one of the script. But we had to tear it up. We had to tear it up in half so they could still read. The pages were still consistent. And it was just tedious work. And then I went to the entrance and assisted. and assisted like the participants on going inside. And while I was doing that, okay, here guys comes the special thing that happened to me, the most magical thing that has happened to me in that seminar. So I was there, and I was like, trying to manage the crowd and asking them, reminding them that they have to get their merchandise and get inside as soon as possible so that they don't huddle up in there. And this one guy recognizes me, and I was asking him like, how do you recognize me? And I was like, and he was like, oh, I listen to music. I'm like, what? 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 Wait, what? You? And he was like, oh my god, I recognize you. I listen to your music. I'm like, no way! You are not listening to my music. Oh my god. I was like, guys, when I tell you, it just, I lost it. I practically lost it that day. And um I left like as soon as the guys were done, as soon as like the queue out on the registration area cleared up, I went to his place and stayed there the entire freaking day. And my area was like, this was the hall, and there was like an area that was closed off. So there was an area that was closed off, and I was right here. I was just beside that area, and we call it the speakers lounge. I call it the speakers lounge. So I was there, and I opened the door. Not really, but like, I was just there, and I was managing this entire plethora of people, and it was so hard. And especially these guys are mostly freshman students. So just imagine the chaos of having to control these people. Yeah. Even with my loud self, even with my personality, no. That was hard. That was arguably the hardest thing. But, you know, I was being scolded left and right. And I was like, yeah, okay. But I, like, I didn't know. I was just like following everyone at this point. Like, oh, where am I gonna sign? I'm like, oh, there. And I'm like, I went there. And I was like, and they thought I walked out, and I'm like, no! Like, one of my classmates said to me, they thought I walked out on them. And I'm like, no, why? Why? What makes you think I'm gonna leave this hall? Like, just like that? I'm like, girl! Cause this was already like around 11:30 in the morning, so I was already there for 7 hours. 7 hours, and I already had a bad day. Like, um, cause I was being scolded left and right, right? I was just being scolded the entire time. I was being like, the pain in the ass for them. So it was crazy, and I went out, but not because I was being scolded left and right, that I couldn't handle it, that I was gonna cry. No. The thing is, it was 11:30 in the morning, and the stores have already opened by that time because of the people that were doing the national service training program. So I went outside, and loaded up my phone for the first time in a hot minute, and I was just sitting and I was like trying to register for a promo, and I was just legit so confused on where I would be assigned. I was like, hey, you know, you're gonna meet at the station. You gotta go to your destination. I'm like, girl, you said somebody said that I was assigned here. I'm just following your orders. Okay, I'm just literally following your orders. Everyone's orders. I don't care who I follow at this point. I'm just literally following your orders. And somebody said that I had to be here, and I'm like, oh. And then when they said that I could go back to the station, to like the actual post that I was assigned to, I was like, oh, finally! I could. God, you are all confusing the hell out of me. And so I stayed there. And this fan from earlier, so I was beside him. And since there was nobody in front of him, I decided to put my things in there and use that as like a signpost of where I could like begin with, you know. So I was here, and then this entire row of people I had to control. So it was my signpost from where I would, from the row that I have to moderate until the last row. So just imagine how crazy it is for me. Just imagine how stressful it is for me. Like, I had to scold them, I had to ask them not to sleep, I had to ask them to hype up the crowd. Like, girl, you do not know. You do not know how hard I've been trying to like that. Cause you know, if I don't like, if I just do this, I'm like, will anybody get hyped by that? Will anybody? I mean, if I do something like that, like, it's just like that. I'm like, you're not gonna go anywhere with that kind of energy. You have to give them the same energy that you want to give them, right? That's what I did the entire day. So just imagine the energy levels just went over the roof. So my energy levels were just crazy, and I don't even drink coffee. It was really just the way I am. I am loud, and I am crazy, and I have a personality that's just ready to go off, ready to be an extrovert, ready to be a social butterfly. I do not care. So yeah, it was just crazy. Like, I swear to God. And so I was asking them, y'all, you better hype up the crowd, okay? Y'all better not disappoint me, because these were mostly freshies, and you know, I'm trying to like get them into, you know, the game, not be like some boring ass bitch who just like, let's try. Like if you want to hype them, like, you should give the same energy you want to get, like, you want them to give you, right? Reciprocate that kind of, you know, that negotiation technique, I would say. And I was like, and I was telling them, girl, you better not disappoint me. You gotta pull off the stops. You gotta give me the crazy shit, you know. They did. They delivered. They delivered. They ate. They heavily ate. So I'm just so grateful to my juniors. Like, oh god, I wanna. And there were some particular moments during that seminar and during that part, and like I was being myself. Okay, I didn't want to like people please. But it honestly was just like feeling like I'm performing for a show. And not the kind of thing that I would do if I were to perform, but it just wasn't feeling right for me. Because I know my way around the performance, because I've done that for practically the entire portion of my singing career, or my singing songwriting career rather. But that seminar just felt like I was performing for a show. And I was performing a show, rather. I was performing a show that I probably don't even like. It was like I was trying to people please so hard so that we could get a good grade, so that we could like have good evaluation marks, you know. But I'm like, I'm just thinking to myself like, sure, I would want a grade, that's nice, but at the same time I also wanted to have a good experience. It was hard, like trying to, you know, like queue people up properly so that they could go out to the bathroom as little as possible, not much like, you know, trying to go out in groups and stuff. And I was trying to see if they doze off. I was trying to see if they were chattering between each other. And it was just absolutely stressful. Not the hosting, but it was just awfully, awfully stressful. And I'm just thinking like, oh, these other bitches got so lucky they got to chill on the day. But I'm like, God, I swear. I'm an extrovert, but that wore me out. And by the end, I was just, God, it was crazy. And here's the thing, two of the speakers are my former seniors at the community press outfit that I used to work in as an intern. I even got one of them on the future vlog that I'm gonna upload and edit soon, but I don't know if that's gonna happen at all. I'm just feeling lazy to do it right now. But yeah, um, so I got to chat with these two long before and after their stints, their speaker stints, and I miss them a lot. Like, I've grown really fond of them, and like most of my seniors, I spent quite long there. Spent quite a lot of time in there, and I've really grown fond of them. And I'm just so glad to have met them, and I'm just so glad to have been an intern with them, and not anyone, and not any place else, because I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm just glad I got to experience a lot of the things that I would probably never experience had I stayed here. And I wanted a challenge. I wanted a challenge for so long because I've always lived in here from my infancy until now. So it was such a huge, I wouldn't say like a cultural shock, because I've always like preferred living alone. So however, it was the first time that I've lived with complete strangers. People that are older than me, and I'm always not like the stickler for rules, okay? So yeah, I'm not a good stickler for the rules. I'm not like Iori or Takane even. May Iori rest in peace. But yeah, I'm not like the two that are just following rules to the letter. I'm not. So yeah, it was really, really nostalgic having them there. And I was asking my internship coordinator how was their experiences, and they were like, "Oh, it's just so cold in there. It was my first time here, but not my first time in the province, but it was my first time here in your university." And I must say, I want to stay here. But you will get to know more about them in the vlog that I will be releasing once, you know, I get around to doing it. Yeah, and one more thing. A legendary journalist congratulated us seniors for the seminar, but the one moment that really just made me completely break down in tears was like a few hours before. I saw Chihaya and Mami and Ami. Did see Miki once, but it was just like a glimpse. But I did see Chihaya and the twins come in, and I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was just, wow. And I told my fan, hey, I'm gonna introduce you to my best friend. I have to. I have to. And so I requested him personally to go meet to meet my best friend. And he is an incoming freshman. He is an incoming journalism freshman at the university. And yeah, he met future profs, his future profs. So yeah. And one of them's my best friend. So like while I and yeah, I greeted him after like for the first time in like half a year, and I told him I brought my girls along with me. I brought Takane, Chihaya, Mami, and Kotori, the four girls of the idol master that I have right now. And he said, Chihaya said, that he still has the Chihaya keychains in his bag. And I just knew from there. And it was just like full on waterworks. I swear to God. Like, from that moment on, I just broke down in complete tears, and I hugged him so tight, and I told him I miss him a lot. I was just like hugging him so tight, and I said to him, I'm so sorry that we didn't get to talk a lot, and I really, 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 really miss you. And I was just completely breaking down in his arms. It was just so crazy. And Sui was there, slash Ami was there. Sui slash Ami was there. Yeah, we, cause Chia and I call his boyfriend Sui, cause he's just as adorable as the slime. So it was just crazy, and I was joking like, oh my god, the streak isn't over. I'm still crying. Ha ha. I'm still crying. Oh my god. I guess the streak isn't done yet. So yeah. And I did cry again, but that was on the way home. I did cry again because, oh my god, like, I am not gonna lie. You know, like, um, this is my 5th year as a singer-songwriter. My very first single, which was a Christmas one, was released December 30th, 2018. It celebrated its 5th anniversary on December 30th, 2023. And Homecoming Kisses was released January 2nd, 2019. So, and these particular two are the reason why I am really, really thriving right now as a singer-songwriter. It's really because of these. I'm just so glad. Like, here's the thing. I did not know if the numbers, like, I usually like monitor my Spotify artist profile a lot, so I don't know if the number climbs up or the number climbs down, but like that seminar was the first time I ever learned that these monthly listeners are real. Cuz I mean, like I said, I gatekeep my stuff. I gatekeep my stuff not because I don't want people to hear it, but because I just want a select group of people to know about it, and then the rest, like, be complete strangers, and that they listen because they like my music and they love the way that I write, right? Like these kinds of things that make you think like, oh my god, like I just know people wouldn't understand the reason why I stayed there the whole time. And I was just there answering his questions, giving him stories about these past few seminars, just everything under the sun. And I was like treating him right, I guess. I was just, like giving him the respect that he deserves because he's a fan. Okay? He's a fan of mine. Like, that is just completely crazy. I swear to God. I never thought I would get to meet one of my fans at the seminar itself. That they recognize me because they listen to my music, and that is just the most genuine thing ever. And that, I remember just completely being overwhelmed that day because it is your fan. They listen to your music and they're just not like some other kind of guy trying to excuse it as some kind of bullshit, because I take my stuff really seriously. I love my stuff. I am proud of it regardless of how it came out. I am just proud of my work, okay? I'm not afraid to show it, but people have been really relentless in their downplaying of the work that I do, whether that be songwriting or just writing in general. It's just that it has been downplayed so much. They it's like they tried to make a joke about it. They tried to make light of it, make light of my songwriting work, when in fact I love doing it. I really do. I'm really proud of the work that I have done in my years as a singer-songwriter. And that it's year number 5, that it's such a special year, you know? I've been doing this for the past 5 years. And it's only 5 years later that I get to meet one of my fans, and I'm just so happy that I got a fan. Like, the Goya Bells exist. It's real. Like, trust me, it was just unreal. And my batchmates will never understand the importance of meeting one of your fans. I swear to God. I just realized then and there that my songs have made an impact on people. My songs have inspired people to just, like, be their truest version. Like, these stories have inspired so many people. The monthly listeners do exist. Yes, they do exist. And I confirmed it for myself. I discovered it for myself on the day of the seminar, and people will never understand how important that is to, like, basically a creative person, okay? To basically creative, someone who works in the creative industry. They will never ever ever understand. It's just such a surreal moment, and I am really really thankful that we got pictures, and that he got to meet my best friend, and that I got to speak to him, and that I got to get to know him as a freshman, and that I get to, like, actually, watch his progress and everything. I just so happy that I get to meet, and they will never understand because they don't know what it's like to just, not be recognized for what you're doing in the past 5 years. That you're only just being recognized now because the work that you've done is just, it's just really crazy. Yeah. And yeah, we got our peer evaluation yesterday, and it was just really really crazy. And there was an issue that, yeah. And I remember there was a time when there was a time when I was just doing, like, that body shaming thing, and somebody was body shaming me, and I was like, ha 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 ha. Do you think it affects me? I just wanna know who the person is, and then I'll just kill him with words. Cause I mean, I've already touched about this before on the season finale, so I'm not gonna touch it on here, but I'm just so glad that the whole thing is over. But I wish I got to speak more with my fan, and I'm just so glad to have, like, to just know that I have fans. I have actual freaking fans who listen to my music. What? And yeah, it really really meant a lot to me, and that seminar just became a whole lot more special with him in it. And I finally am recognized for the work that I have done. And I finally get recognized as, someone who actually inspires people, someone who is a beacon of light for these people. I'm just so proud of myself, and I can't believe that I get to do more, that I am inspired more by the people around me and my experiences to write more music, and, make a difference and inspire people to, be themselves, and to just be their best version of themselves. Wow, it was just, I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy! And I am just so glad that this seminar really opened me up to a whole lot of new experiences, and a realization, a very, very important realization. And yeah, this has been going on for too long, and I will end this right here. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you that have been watching and listening to the entire second season of Midori's Midnight Sessions. It has been a pleasure to have shared these moments with you, to have shared my journey with you, and I hope that you will be here for more stories, for more advice and content about my life and the things that happen in between. I'm just really, really grateful to you that you are such amazing people to have, and I cannot wait for what the future holds. And I am so excited to tell you more about my stuff, whether that is this podcast or any other stuff. I cannot wait to tell you more about all the things that I've been doing recently. And again, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions. I hope you enjoyed listening to all the rambling that I have gone through in the past hour. And I will see you soon. Goodbye! See you next time.